Myofibrillar myopathy, or MFM or short. It's not a single disease, but a group of rare, genetic neuromuscular disorders. They are united by a common microscopic feature: the disintegration of myofibrils, the tiny fibers that contract muscle, and the accumulation of waste proteins inside muscle cells. The word myopathy literally means muscle disease. Myo means muscle, and pathy is disease. Myofibril is the part of the muscle that it affects. Myofibrils are the long, cylindrical, rod-like organelles found within muscle cells, also known as myocytes, particularly in striated muscles such as skeletal and cardiac muscle. They serve as the basic contractile units of muscle tissue, enabling movement through contraction and relaxation. Myofibrils are bundles of protein filaments, myofilaments, that run parallel along the length of the muscle cell. These filaments are organized into repeating segments called sarcomers, which are the functional units of contraction. Sarcomers give myofibrils their characteristic striped, striated appearance under a microscope, with alternating light eye bands and dark Abens regions. While muscular dystrophy is a more common term for muscle-wasting diseases, MFM is distinct because the primary problem is not just muscle weakness, but the structural failure of the muscle's internal scaffolding, specifically the Z-disc, and the toxic buildup of protein clumps. The core mechanism: the trash problem. To understand MFM, you have to look at how a muscle cell works. The Z-disc. Inside muscle cells, there are long chains of contractile units called sarcomers. These units are anchored at each end by a structure called the Z-disc. Think of the Z-disc as the anchor point that holds the muscle fibers together so they can pull against something. The breakdown. In MFM, the proteins that make up or stabilize this Z-disc are mutated. This causes the Z-disc to become unstable, and stream or smear dissolve under the microscope. Protein aggregation. Because the proteins are malformed, the cell cannot fold them correctly or clear them away. These garbage proteins clump together into aggregates plaques. These clumps effectively choke the muscle cell, preventing it from contracting and eventually killing the cell. Genetics, the cause. MFM is caused by mutations in specific genes that provide instructions for building the Z-disc and its associated proteins. Inheritance. Most forms are autosomal dominant. This means you only need one mutated copy of the gene from one parent to develop the disease. However, sporadic cases, new mutations with no family history, and recessive forms also occur. Key genes involved. Desmin, one of the most common causes. Desmin is a filament protein that integrates the Z-disc with the rest of the cell. CRYAB, alpha-crestalone, B, a chaperone protein that prevents other proteins from clumping. MYOT, myotolin, a protein that binds actin filaments to the Z-disc. LDB3 ZASP, a protein that stabilizes the Z-disc during contraction. FLNC, filament C, involved in Z-disc structure and signaling. BAG3, a quality control protein that helps clear away damaged proteins' autophagy. This form is often more severe and can affect children. Symptoms and clinical presentation. The symptoms can vary widely depending on which specific gene is mutated, but they generally appear in mid-adulthood, 40s or 50s. Muscle weakness. This is progressive, which means it worsens over time. Unlike many other myopathies that affect the proximal muscles first, like the hips and shoulders, MFM often starts in the distal muscles, hands, wrists, ankles, and calves. Patients may first notice difficulty gripping objects or opening jars, and foot drop, which can cause tripping over their own toes due to weak ankle muscles. Cardiomyopathy, heart disease. This is a critical feature. The heart is a muscle and is often heavily affected by the same protein clumps. Patients may develop arrhythmias, irregular heartbeat, or heart failure even before skeletal muscle weakness becomes severe. Note, in desminopathy, the DES mutation can cause heart blocks, requiring a pacemaker, which is very common. Peripheral neuropathy. Some patients experience numbness, tingling, or pain in their extremities, mimicking nerve damage. Respiratory insufficiency. In advanced stages, the muscles responsible for breathing diaphragm can weaken. Diagnosis. Doctors distinguish MFM from other muscular dystrophies through specific tests. Muscle biopsy, the gold standard. A small piece of muscle is removed and examined under a microscope. Gomori trichrum stain. Pathologists look for dark blue or purple clumps in the muscle fibers. Z-disc streaming. Under an electron microscope, the organized Z-discs look smeared or disorganized. However, with the advancements in genetic sequencing, a blood test, specifically a neuromuscular panel or exome sequencing, is used to identify the specific gene mutation such as to confirm the diagnosis. Genetic sequencing is now the standard in the diagnosis process. It not only identifies the specific gene that has mutated, but the specific location on that gene. That information will be necessary for when gene editing starts to be available. Treatment and management. Currently, there is no cure for myofibrillar myopathy. Treatment is supportive, meaning it aims to manage symptoms and improve quality of life. Cardiac management. This is the most life-saving intervention. Patients require regular EKGs and echocardiograms. Many will eventually need a pacemaker or ICD defibrillator to prevent sudden cardiac death. Physical therapy to maintain mobility and prevent contractures, tightening of joints. Assistive devices, ankle-foot orthotics, braces for foot drop, canes, or wheelchairs as the disease progresses. Respiratory support, CPAP or BiPAP machines may be needed at night if breathing muscles weaken. In summary, myofibrillar myopathy is a disease of structural failure and toxic buildup. A genetic error creates a faulty protein in the muscle's anchor points, Z-discs, causing the muscle structure to collapse and fill with debris. It is clinically unique because it often affects the hands, feet, and heart more prominently than other muscle diseases. Thanks for watching.